All right, today's lesson is 75 area of a trapezoid. Today we're going to learn how to solve for area in a trapezoid. Now recall, a trapezoid is a polygon that has two parallel sides and two non-parallel sides. So let's review. If we wanted to find the area of a rectangle, we would do length times width. If we wanted to find the area of a parallelogram, we would do base times height, the perpendicular height. But if we're finding the area of a trapezoid, what formula would we use? So let me show you, if we backed up a little bit, to explain how the formula works and why it is the way it is. If I tried using one of the bases to find my area, let's say I take this short base and I use the height. This wouldn't be enough area. It's not quite big enough. So let's say instead I use the longer base, this one, and found the area using its length and the height. Well, that's too much area. So I almost need to find a length that's kind of in between the shorter base and the longer base. So maybe I could guess somewhere in here, or maybe somewhere in here. Would that be about the right amount of area? Let's see, erase that. So in this case, I got too much area here, but it kind of balanced out where here I didn't get enough area. Here I got too much area, but it balances with this one where I didn't quite get enough. So how do we figure out where that length is? It's actually the average of the two bases. The short base and the long base, if I find the average of those two, it works out perfect. So to find the averages, we actually take base 1, which we'll call the shorter one, base 2, the longer one. We're going to add those together and divide by 2. Just like if I wanted to find the average between 20 and 30, I would add them together and divide by 2. That would give me 50 divided by 2, or 25. And that is, 25 is right in the middle of 20 and 30. So this is my average. Again, I have to find the height, so I would multiply this average by the height. And that is my formula for area of a trapezoid. B1 plus B2 divided by 2, then times that by h. And I like to put that in parentheses so you remember to do this first, then times it by your height. So let's try, and there's your formula, all pretty in a nice box if you copy that in your notes. Our next example, we will actually solve one. So here you go, B1 plus B2 over 2 times h. So here's our first example. So Eric needs to replace the shingles on the south side of his roof. The section of the roof is a trapezoid with the dimensions shown. How many square feet of shingles does he need to cover this section of roof? So this is like really real life. You don't want to go to Home Depot and buy 10 packages of shingles. They're super heavy if you only need to buy 8, or maybe you only need to buy 6. So let's figure out how much area is this. We're going to use our formula. Area equals B1 plus B2 divided by 2 multiplied by height. Let's find B1 plus B2. There's 8 plus 24. We're going to cut that in half. And then we're going to times that by our height. Our perpendicular height is 12. So simplifying, 8 plus 24 is 32. And then I'm going to cut that in half. Times it by 12. I kind of like the idea of cutting the 12 in half. If you're okay, the 2 can go into either one of these numbers. But if I make this a single digit, I can single digit multiply 6 times 32 a lot easier. 6 times 2 is 12, carry the 1, 6 times 3 is 18, plus the 1 is 19. So we get 192, we're in feet, and area is two-dimensional, so our units are squared. Let's do another one. This is the last one. This time they don't draw it for us. We have to come up with our own drawing. I'm going to leave the formula there. It says the bases of a trapezoid are 12 centimeters and 18 centimeters. The height of the trapezoid is 8. Find the area of the trapezoid using the formula. This time, look at the difference here. We talked about dividing by 2 underneath it. This one says 1/2 out in front. Is it the same formula? It is. Timesing by 1/2 is the same thing as dividing by 2. So let's put in this formula. B1 we'll call 12. B2 we'll call 18. So we're right there. And we're going to times this by the height. It says the height is 8. So I just have to solve that. I get 1/2 times, these two added together is 30 times 8. This time I like the idea of halving the 30 because it'll make that number smaller and easier to work with. So halving the 30 would give us 15 times by 8. And then we'll go 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 4 is 12. We are in centimeters and we're two-dimensional, so our units are squared. Keep in mind, our squaring is because this label is centimeters, this label is centimeters. So really down here I have centimeters times centimeters, that's why I have centimeters squared. And we box our answer, and that's it for today's lesson.